Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the posts, giving you my own opinion, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Cross-posted from r/legal advice. Court terminated my parental rights and gave custody to my sister. Any way I can fight this? My husband and I lost custody of our daughter to my sister. Our parental rights were terminated on the grounds of abandonment. I left my daughter in care of my sister back in 2013. This post was posted 5 years ago, but still, that's 7 years. My husband was offered a job outside of the country, but I did not want to take my daughter along because she has medical issues and had just started school. We had a guardianship agreement and we were supposed to come back to the US the following year. However, my husband's contract was extended, so we stayed. The custody battle started in 2016 when my sister tried to receive government aid for my daughter. I was ordered to pay child support, which I happily did. My sister wasn't satisfied with that and petitioned for custody again in 2018. They terminated our rights this year. They claimed we abandoned her because we had not seen her since 2013, and paying child support did not count as being part of her life. I really want my daughter back, and we plan on coming back home to the US either later this year or early 2020 for certain. Is there any way I can regain custody of my daughter? Alabama and UK. Are you for real? Yeah, I really want my daughter back, but, I haven't seen her since 2013. I mean, we promised to be back in 2014, but it's now 2020, and, we were thinking of maybe coming back to the States either later this year or early 2022. But, we're not 100% certain. But yeah, we just haven't seen her since 2013. Like, how the fuck do you do that as a mom? Seriously, in the 8 years that you were in the UK, you didn't once think to come back to the States? Not once? Like, after you were supposed to be back after a year, you didn't think to come home and visit or maybe then start making arrangements to bring your daughter with you? Buddy, you were contracted to work overseas. I would be completely dumbfounded if you were making under 6 figures a year. If anything, I'd be shocked to hear under 5 figures a month. And you couldn't make a single damn arrangement to see your daughter once? In 7 years? Yeah, you guys kind of deserve to have your parental rights terminated because you not just abandoned your daughter, but you took advantage of your sister. It's a fucked up thing to do. Enjoy being a childless couple now because it's clearly what you guys wanted and it's exactly what you guys got. Have fun. Just for some additional context, I checked OP's comments to see. So the most visiting they've done is sending Christmas gifts and video chatting. And when it comes to what age they abandoned their daughter at? 6. They left when she was 6. She is now 14. Cross-posted from r/relationship advice. How do I, 32 male, get along with my brother's 22 male, girlfriend, 24 female, after a misunderstanding? Right now, there's a lot of animosity between my brother's girlfriend and I, mostly involving some misunderstanding. I'm not going to go into detail, but there was a misunderstanding with one of her friends and I, and this caused her to see me in a very negative light, and influenced my brother's opinion of me. My brother even stopped talking to me, but my parents weren't going for that. He's talking to me, but not as much as he used to. But we do go 6 months without talking, but my parents said if he won't talk to me, they won't talk to him or her, so he gave in. I do feel like she's the reason my brother and I are not close anymore. I used to be able to count on my brother for anything. Now he says no to everything. I get why she might not take my side on a misunderstanding, but my brother's known me long enough to know I'm not a creep. I wish he defended me the way our parents did. I do think I'm not going to get through to my brother, so I just want to be able to talk to his girlfriend so she understands everything. So, what was this little misunderstanding that got him in so much hot water? Well, thankfully, user Sadly the Worst is stepping in once more to help us with some context from OP's comments. Copied verbatim from OP's comments. It's pretty telling you didn't go into details on why your brother and girlfriend are mad. What was the misunderstanding with the friend that made the girlfriend dislike you? Because I don't want people to make assumptions and it distracts from the advice I'm trying to receive. You won't be able to get advice dodging relevant questions. Okay, well, essentially, I was trying to have my brother put me on with one of his girlfriend's friends. So he convinced her to do it, but she was already acting super hesitant about it, but she did it. I don't think she put in a word because her friend didn't seem like she came in with a good impression. Throughout that time, she said I was being pushy, and I guess my brother told her to just politely end things if she's not feeling it, which was weird on his part because he didn't even give it time. But she texted me saying she wasn't feeling, and when I responded to say cool, for some reason it autocorrected to "you stuck-up bitch." I have no clue how that happened, and didn't realize it until my brother confronted me about it. Did you at least apologize to the girl after you were confronted by your brother? I did. She didn't reply, but I sent her a very apologetic message. Okay, so I'm gonna assume your brother and girlfriend also found that explanation to be wildly asinine. No offense. Let's say you're telling the truth, and it really was autocorrect. You didn't check your message before sending? I mean, cool is one word. Autocorrecting to "you a stuck-up bitch"? Like, come on! I should have checked my message before sending it, but I just wasn't thinking, unfortunately. It's not uncommon for someone to send a text and autocorrect changes the message, but they didn't realize it. My guy, that makes absolutely no sense. How does cool, one word, autocorrect to 5 words? Like, come the fuck on! Dude, I was just as surprised as you are. How often do you type "you a stuck-up bitch" that autocorrect changes to that from cool? Literally the only way your explanation is even semi-real is because it's predictive, based off past usage. I don't, which is why I'm so confused how this happened. This comment right here tells you all you need to know about OP, which is the comment from above where he reveals the autocorrect mistake. Buddy was creeping on his brother's, who's 10 years younger girlfriend's friends, looking for a hookup. Creepy and predatory, and also clearly the golden child. No wonder he thinks this is okay. Her friend is 25. There is nothing wrong with a 25-year-old dating a 32-year-old. That's actually insane you think that it's predatory. Most people would not have an issue with that. Okay, age gap logistics aside, buddy, you're not fooling anyone with the autocorrect excuse. That is probably the lamest excuse in the book right there. Oh, I didn't mean to say that you're a stuck-up bitch. I meant to respond cool, but autocorrect, man, you know how it is. And then to top it all off, you're just labeling it as a misunderstanding when you're clearly just fucking lying. And then to just, further add more shit onto that, you've managed to turn your parents against your brother because you're obviously the golden child when you're the one at fault here, dude. You're 32. Grow the fuck up. And something tells me that quote-unquote heartfelt apology, or whatever the hell you called it, wasn't even an apology. It was just you trying to sweep it under the rug as it being autocorrect and nothing more. And no one believed your piss-poor excuse, and now you're blaming them for not forgiving you, and you roped your parents into this. Dude, I really do love how desperate he was to try to sweep this under the rug as just being a misunderstanding in the start, and then even trying to, phrase it as, well, the misunderstanding's not relevant to the advice I'm looking to receive. No, buddy, it is. This is like you going to r/legal advice and saying, I was in a minor automobile altercation. I'm wondering what kind of lawyer I should be looking for. Then everyone in the comments is trying to ask you, okay, what are the details of the accident? Well, I don't see how that's relevant to the case matter at hand. And later it turns out you laid out a middle schooler in her crosswalk while on your phone in a school zone. Yeah, buddy, the details kinda matter. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for not complimenting my wife so that she won't become vain? Context. My wife, 29 female, and I, 31 male, have been together for 10 years. We share 3 children, 9, 7, and 5. My wife was never someone to really dress up or put too much thought into her looks. She's always been beautiful, but never did much to highlight it. Until recently. She went through this crisis of feeling like she didn't have a personality outside of being a mom, something like that. So, for the last 2 years, she started traveling more, joining different groups, dressing really nicely, wearing makeup. I never realized how much of a difference it would make, but people treat her completely different. She's constantly getting complimented, told she should be in magazines. She'll come home and happily tell me about the random stranger who was nice to her. She randomly gets gifts. Lady at her job brought her a book series she was interested in. She gets hit on. When we go out, all these dudes want to buy her drinks. Even my family has noticed. And all of a sudden, it seems like they're wondering how I ended up with her. Honestly, it's a bit overwhelming for me and something I'm just not used to. It's kinda become annoying. Anyways, she was going out with friends and she asked me how she looked. I just said fine. She seemed disappointed with this. My sister was over and commented that I should hype her up. I said, why? Why should I? When the world already does. And I don't want her thinking too highly of herself and becoming more vain. My sister looked shocked and said that's fucked up. Said that's low-key abusive and I'm an asshole. I think she's overthinking it, but decided to get some outside opinions. So am I the asshole? Buddy, that's your wife. She's actually feeling confident in her own skin, and the one person who is literally supposed to hype her up and make her feel like she means the world to someone isn't doing shit and instead making comments about how you don't want her to feel too vain. Like, while the world is telling her she's attractive, you're not. So when she's off at the bar and whatnot and is getting attention from girls and guys about how great she looks, she is going to be reminded every single time that I wish my husband would say things like that to me. I wish my husband complimented me. I wish my husband thought I looked great. Every compliment is going to make her wonder what she's doing wrong with you and why you don't find her to be attractive. Because what, you're worried things will go to her head? You're worried that she'll become vain? Come on, man. That's your wife. You're supposed to be hyping her up, dude. If the divorce papers show up, don't be shocked because you were literally the only person on the planet who, in her eyes, didn't find her attractive. I really don't know what else to tell ya. Cross-posted from r/relationship advice. How do I, 45 male, make amends with my ex-wife's, 44 female, neighbor, 30 male, after accusing him of sleeping with my daughter, 15 female? Jesus Christ. My ex-wife moved to this neighborhood 2 years ago. Over the last year, her neighbor and my daughter became close. He played basketball and football growing up, even played basketball at West Point. Though I looked up his West Point and his stats were mediocre, he even told me he didn't want to go to West Point, but he didn't have offers from major programs, so in his words, might as well get a world-class education, and he feels like it worked out. Now, last year my daughter tried out for the basketball team and didn't make it. This is the start of them being very close because my ex-wife suggested she ask their neighbor since he mentioned playing basketball. I didn't think it would be helpful, but she did, and their neighbor agreed as long as my ex-wife and I were okay with it. I had no problems with it, but didn't think it would work. Turns out she has drastically improved. She made the team and says they have her starting at practice. I don't think he's the reason for it, though. Things just started looking weird to me. They started hanging out, not just practicing basketball, but would go eat together. In my opinion, my daughter had an unhealthy obsession for him. For example, she asked me if I can give her $40 to buy him something as a thank you for training me. Her mom gave her the money even though I told my ex we shouldn't, but whatever. I said no. Also, I told her I don't think he's the reason for your improvement. That's all you. My daughter responds with, yeah, he said the same thing. I just wasn't playing with confidence, but he helped me get confidence in my abilities. Like, what? Also, more recently, a teacher was bullying her. She was saying mean things to my daughter in front of the class, calling her ugly, etc. My daughter told him first instead of me or even her mom. Just too many odd things. Dude, he's just being more of a father to her than you are. That's what's going on here. I texted the guy if we can talk, and we set up a time. I came over to his house and just flat out asked if the relationship between him and oh my god. Oh, oh no. Just flat out asked if the relationship between him and my teenage daughter was sexual, and his response was concerning. He denied it, but got very angry and told me to leave. The concerning part wasn't his denial, but his anger. I wonder why. Hey, did you fuck my teenage daughter? No? What the fuck is wrong with you? Wow, the fact that you're mad that I accused you of pedophilia is really concerning. I thought it was very suspicious, so I talked to my daughter about it and she looked at me with disgust. She said he's never done anything inappropriate with her. Then she got mad at me and said, "You think I would sleep with a 40-year-old? He's 30, but I get her point. I told her it wasn't her fault I don't trust him. She said I have no reason to not trust him, that he's a good man and mentor to her. She said Mr. His name has acted like a big brother and even a father. Called it. He shows up for me every time, unlike you, who only shows up when you can't find some girl to pay you any mind." I told my daughter that was a very disrespectful thing to say, and when she wonders why we aren't that close, she should take responsibility for her actions and the things she says to me. That will probably require a separate post. Dude, she is 15. Oh my god. I texted the neighbor that I don't think you're sleeping with my daughter or doing anything inappropriate. I just had to check it out to make sure. He didn't reply. To lighten the mood, I sent him some football tweets from X. He didn't reply. I called my ex-wife, who was no help at all, and just said, "I don't know what to tell you. You basically accused him of being a predator." I didn't. I just asked him, but I can understand why he's standoffish about it. But I don't feel like we can resolve it without talking like men. I'm thinking some pizza and soda. He doesn't drink. Then we just talk it out man to man. Edit. I tried to do the mature thing and look for advice on making amends with this guy. Yet I get accused of being jealous. But if I was jealous, I wouldn't want to make amends. But I'm done. The situation is what it is, and not one comment has been helpful. Hey dude, I know I accused you of being a predator, but here's some funny tweets about football and some pizza and soda. Does that make us cool? Oh my god. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for calling out my friend's daughter for her behavior? I'm male 45. My friends, whom I have known for 20 years, have a 15-year-old daughter. Let's call her E. For as long as I've known her, E is a bratty and disrespectful child. She would be 9 years old and cry if she didn't get her way. If her parents shouted at her, she would shout back. I could never imagine my son, now adult, arguing back to me or being disrespectful. I've talked about this to E's parents multiple times and they agree. Back in the 80s, this would never be acceptable. This is the part where I struggle to see where I'm in the wrong. A few years ago, we were on a beach trip with my friends, their daughter, her friend, and my ex-wife. We dropped off E's friend at her house, and she didn't even say thank you. I mentioned this in the car to my friends about how E's friend has no culture. I wasn't speaking to E, but she argued back to me that she does have culture. I got upset that she, 11, argued back to me when children should be respectful towards adults. I may have raised my voice at her and we argued. You argued with an 11-year-old. But I think it was justified as she needs some discipline. I talked to my friends, the parents, and they ended up taking her phone away, looking through it and resetting it. She also got the privilege of messaging her friends taken away. This year, I was planning a holiday with my friends. I didn't want E going because if I'm being honest, I don't like her presence. I'm not saying this to be rude, just being honest. I talked to her mother about this, who said E also hasn't been going to school for most of the year because of mental health issues. Well, I'm a 45-year-old man and I have my issues too, but I still go to work, so I don't understand that excuse. I said to my friend that she doesn't deserve to go. Going on vacation but not to school? Her mother didn't say anything. I'm an honest person and told my friend that she probably doesn't go because she struggles to make friends and isn't very well liked. I've known her since she was born, so her mother didn't let her go, but she still went. I've noticed E's father has moved away from me, and I believe it's because of her lying about me. I don't believe I'm in the wrong, but I'd like to know. Please let me know. Sadly, there are no other comments from OP. But dude, you're beefing with a child. You're 45, and you're making this big of a deal over an 11-year-old not respecting you in the past and a 15-year-old having to stay out of school because they're having mental health problems? And then you turn around and act like a child? Well, I'm 45, and I have mental health issues, and I still go to work. Okay. You're also 45. They're still a child. Also, buddy, that backhanded comment towards a 15-year-old of, well, she probably doesn't go because she struggles to make friends and isn't very well liked. What's wrong with you? You're beefing with children and saying, well, in the 80s, this would have never been tolerated. Yeah, well, the way you were raised in the 80s is causing you to argue with 11-year-olds. So, I don't know, man. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for asking my sister if I can have my bridal shower at her house? I, 29 female, am getting married to my fiancé, 29 male, in a few months. We've spent a lot of money booking our venue, so naturally, we're trying to save as much as we can with the extra parties that come with the wedding. My sister, 23 female, and her girlfriend, 25 female, recently bought a beautiful home with a big backyard. My fiancé and I were over at my sister's house and brought up the idea of having my bridal shower there. She made an ugly face and asked why I would want to do that. I explained that it would be cheaper and easier to get everyone together. My sister didn't even try to hear me out before saying that she didn't want strangers in her home. I asked who the strangers would be, and she said she doesn't know my friends, she doesn't know my fiancé's family well, and she doesn't want our family to know where she lives. I tried to be understanding because I know my sister and our family don't have the best relationship, but they're not completely no contact, so I didn't think it would be a big deal. I told my sister that I feel like she's trying to make my wedding all about her, and I wouldn't do this to her if she ever gets married. My sister's girlfriend then butted in and said she doesn't care that I'm getting married and our parents will never be welcomed into their home. That's when I lost it. I admit I may have taken it too far. I told my sister and her girlfriend that they're both being selfish by taking out their issues with our parents on me and my fiancé. My sister and I got into a heated argument, which led to her girlfriend telling us to leave. I tried calling my sister today, but she didn't answer. I then tried calling her girlfriend, and she didn't answer either. I feel like I could have taken things too far, but at the same time, I feel like my sister is overreacting to all of this. Right, yeah, she's making the wedding all about her. Uh-huh. Hey, can we use your house as a venue and invite everyone that you don't want into your home? No? God, stop being so selfish and making this all about you. Also, with the girlfriend butting in, that's her home too. You said sister and her girlfriend recently bought a beautiful home. She has every right to be involved in the discussion of her home being used as a bridal shower venue. Like, beyond the fact that you're not entitled to use someone else's home as an event space for your wedding parties, despite you acting as though that's the case, she has some pretty reasonable boundaries. She doesn't want a bunch of strangers in her home. That's entirely reasonable because to her, they are strangers. They're not her friends. They're yours. They're people she hasn't met yet. And on top of that, sounds like she doesn't want her parents to know where she lives, which by the sounds of it, because of them being limited contact, is a pretty reasonable request. But yeah, she's the selfish one. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for wanting to move to Hawaii for me and my family's future? This is a burner account so my kids and wife don't find this post. I, 54 male, have been married to my wife Sally, 52 female, for 10 years. Sally had a divorce about 15 years ago and has kids with her ex-husband, Donna and Rachel, 18 female and 16 female. I've been supporting our family in California, where my parents also lived before moving to Hawaii 3 years ago to be closer to my brother, 56 male. 2 years ago, I found out that there was going to be a condo building built in Honolulu by the time Rachel graduates high school in 2027. I offered the idea to Sally, saying that the kids could stay with us as well because there would be another room for them. My wife immediately turned down the idea because her entire family lives in North Cali, her sisters, brothers, and dad. She also doesn't want to leave her dad behind and so far away since his kidney was failing and he was on the verge of dying multiple times. I just assumed that she would come around to the idea because I always wanted to retire in Hawaii. Fast forward to this summer, I become unemployed. I was basically making all the money in the house with my wife having a part-time job at a school district and Donna having a part-time hostess job at a nearby restaurant. I wanted to declutter the house as well, and I wanted the kids to do it with their stuff lying around that they don't use anymore. Violins, piano, dollhouse, etc. So they could learn useful life skills. I could tell they didn't want to do it though. I snapped at the kids twice because I was really upset that I did all the work in the home and they just did nothing, except for going on their phones and baking for a friend's birthday. I've always provided for the house and family, but these kids can't do a single thing we asked them to. I was super upset, and my wife wasn't taking it as seriously for some reason. After those incidents happened, the kids went to their dad's house for the rest of the summer. One day, I found a writing from Donna that was obviously about me, that was talking about all the things that she essentially dislikes about me, how I don't protect them when Sally yells at them, or how I think money is what makes me more important than everyone in the family. Ever since that writing, the family has been off balance and the energy has been weird. I left for a month to Hawaii to clear my head after fighting with the kids and Sally. I just came back home today. I realized again that I was unemployed and I wanted to move to Hawaii right away. I talked to my wife about it, and she was even more hesitant now because it was so sudden. I don't think she understands that this would be amazing for our futures. With me being financially supported by my family, the kids never even took care of this family like I did, so I feel like I should call the shots around here. My wife doesn't want to just move Rachel in the middle of her junior year, so there's that. I feel like she's picking them over me. Am I the asshole? Edit, I am planning on getting a job in Hawaii as well. Both of my parents have dementia and my sister-in-law has cerebral palsy. Gotta love the idea that you want to declutter the house by making them get rid of their instruments and learn actual useful life skills. That's not very telling. Also, it is kind of crazy how you can't comprehend the irony of reading a note from your daughter that says how you don't protect them from their mom yells at them, which also has a ton of implications attached to it, but then additionally how she feels that because of money, you feel that you're the most important part of the family, which that's pretty clearly spelled out by your own writings. And even if that wasn't the case, if you didn't believe this to be true, that should be a wake-up call for you, not a reason to bitch on Reddit. Well, what have they done for the family? Buddy, Donna just graduated and Rachel doesn't graduate for another 2 years. What are they supposed to do? Also, when you say you found a writing from Donna, were you snooping through her things and found her journal or something? Because that's kind of what that implies to me at least, is that you violated their privacy, found something you didn't like, and it changed the family dynamic in your eyes. Like, it comes across that you just want to move to Hawaii because you think it would be a lot of fun, and you're totally fine with inconveniencing literally everyone around you. Rachel will have to move schools and won't graduate with her classmates. Your wife won't be around her dying father, and Donna clearly has some other issues revolving around the family dynamics and structure that you're just totally fine with ignoring because Hawaii. Cross-posted from r/relationship advice. My, 29 female, husband, 28 male, has known about my affair. How can I save our marriage? I have been together with my husband since my sophomore year of college, and we got married 5 years ago. It has been amazing, but I kind of miss being young. A couple of times a week after work, I go to the same bar when I don't want to sit in traffic. There's a guy that I would run into there, and it went from a friendship to harmless flirting. Next thing you know, I found myself having an affair. The thing is, I love my husband, and this guy was a younger version of my husband, making me feel young. To avoid going into too much detail, my sister recently found out and alerted my husband behind my back. My sister told me that she told my husband, and he told her he already knows, and cried to her. I didn't believe her and thought she was saying that because she wanted me to tell him when she found out. However, she knew something I didn't tell her. I've been begging my husband for us to start trying for a kid, but he's been unequivocal in saying it's not the right time, despite our previous discussions about having kids at 28. My baby fever is high. She told me that the affair is why he doesn't want to have a baby right now. I never told her about him not wanting to have a baby right now. This prompted me to investigate, and I started digging into his phone, snooping with his password. He found out months ago, and it caused him to be depressed. He's talking about it with his friend. She keeps telling him he should leave, and at first he was hesitant, saying he's going to try to remind me why I married him. She told him to just leave, and he can stay with her and her wife in the guest room. In one of the texts, He said he's checked out and is sending apartment listings. This all makes sense because in the beginning of the affair, he was being extra nice. We went on a trip when he was trying to remind me why I married him. A few weeks ago, he seemed to start acting completely different. I feel horrible. I had no idea he would ever find out. I blocked my affair partner on everything, and I'm ready to save my marriage. That final little sentence says everything about this post. You're not sad about having the affair. You feel horrible because you thought he would never find out, and he did. Not to mention, not that it would have made it any better, but this isn't even a one-time thing. This was a maintained affair for over months with the same person. And the only reason why you seem to have any kind of remorse or regret is because you found out that your husband found out, and he's looking to leave you now. You found out there was a point where this was recoverable, but you're well beyond that. Like, you're only looking to save your marriage after you found out that he's known for a while. Genuinely, I don't think you deserve to save this one because you're not even, apologetic to the fact that you were unfaithful. You're apologetic to the fact that he found out. Come on.
Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.